Okay, I just wanted to talk a little more clear on what I think of Mufasa and how actually I would rewrite the film. Now, for sake of argument, I would keep the Mufasa not being a royal lineage, and he does come into Taka's life and they become brothers. Now, I don't know what they're gonna do, but the more I think about it, this is how I would write it, to at least try to explain more of the point of Zira's storyline and how they could tie her story in, and how she even knows Scar, and how she even convinced the Outlanders that Scar was a good king, even though we see that everyone, and I mean everyone, is starving by the point Simba comes back. So it really is a little strange. But anyway, I think the reason I didn't like seeing so many white lions, because it just, I think Disney remakes gave me PTSD. It's like, listen, I get it for more of, I'm trying to justify it in my head, like, oh, it's to distinguish between the lions, but it's like, it's so hard. What I would have done is made the guy who comes in, oh, I'll be the Lion King, I'm the only Lion King, him being the only albino lion, because that would be an amazing standout. And it'd be like, it's amazing because albinism is a very, very rare thing in the animal kingdom to begin with. So to have the main villain be a top dog and different, it really makes a statement, and I think that's really something. So I just wish they went that route instead of having so many white lions. That's what threw me off. I'm like, my brain was like, oh my god, is this another woke agenda driven thing? Because it's like, why? And then watching the trailer, seeing a lion follow Mufasa and Taka into the river, I think it was a female lion. So that made me actually a little excited, like, is that Zira? So what happens, what if, and this is a theory, but I don't know if they're going to do this, but what if Zira was actually one of the white lions, falls in love with Taka, believes he's actually a good guy, because he was, but he falls in love with, because this was not in the first remake of The Lion King, he fell in love with Sarabi, and she couldn't take this, and she runs away, but then somehow later, when maybe half the pride gets relocated after their leader was gone, she somehow convinces them that, oh yeah, Taka was a good king. And then she later on came back and found that he kicked her out. It's like no, I want or I don't know, or something, or maybe she just never really confronted him again, and then she, I don't know, had Kovu with someone else, and then she killed him and tried to go back to Scar. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just guessing here. And then found out he died, and then revenge sinks in, because she feels like she's just so in love with Taka, who's no longer Taka. By that point, he became Scar, but she just was so blinded and in love with him that she refused to believe that he became this horrible leader who killed his brother, or not without good reason, because he did become king and usurped his throne, and that's how she tries to justify it, and believes he's the Taka she knew years back, when their paths crossed in the first, this prequel sequel type film. That would explain a lot. I don't know if Disney is going to do that. If they did, okay, clever writing, I like that. I do like that. It does somewhat tie things, but it's still weird. I don't know how they could have justified it if I don't know, but it's like, I feel like they needed writers who were probably working on The Last Airbender to make this film, to make it work, because that's the one thing that makes it so weird. How do you in one film explain Taka going from Taka to Scar and justifying and making it feel realistic? How do you do that? Because how do you take Taka, a very bright-eyed cub who grew up and loved his brother, and becomes Scar by the time Mufasa grows into his own and becomes a leader? How do you do that? You have to have really, really good writing to do that in an hour and 45 minutes. So that's that. I feel like Disney really bit off more they can chew, pun intended. And granted, lions really don't get their kill most of the time. It's a dangerous thing, and that's exactly what Disney has done. I don't know if this hunt for success is going to be a good one, but this is how I would have gone about it if you insist on going this path. But I don't know if this is what they're going to do. But it's just, these are just my concerns, and me trying to convince myself story-wise, like, maybe this is it, maybe this is what they'll do. But that's just me. Look, it's just, there's so many woke agendas. Snow White, Star Wars, like, look what they've done. So it's like, for me to, like, see all white, like, which is so weird. It's so weird, as, like, visually as any nature lover will know. It's just so weird. So to see all white lions be the quote-unquote villains, it's my PTSD brain going with all the junk we've endured, with few good films in between. It's like, is this another woke agenda thing? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So for people to go, are you really seriously going that route? That's such a thing. Is it? And maybe it is. And I hope I'm wrong. But it's such a weird concept. Now, I personally would have loved for them to only make the top dog villain white, because that would have been such a great concept. And it's true, that does happen in the wild. And I would have loved that. That would have been such an amazing artistic choice. But they didn't. So, I don't know. That's what threw me off. So, I hope I'm wrong on that. Even if I was right, it's not like they would admit it. At least I hope they're not stupid enough to admit it. But yeah, this is how I would go about the Mufasa movie, at least trying to make it worthwhile. But I don't know, because unless it's a mini series or an actual TV show, I don't know how they're going to pull off the Taka part. How do you pull such a rambunctious, wide-eyed little boy to become scarred by the end in an hour and 45 minutes? That's just my piece. Thank you for listening.